Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ravenclaw Reads. I'm Courtney, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to provide you with a weekly wrap-up for the books that I read this week. I was so busy this week. I had intended to do a weekly reading vlog, and I missed Monday, and it was kind of downhill from there. So I just focused on reading this week and figured I would do a weekly wrap-up. I also wanted to film a Thursday video and did not get a chance to do that. So it's just been one of those weeks. So thank you for bearing with me. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Shout out again to Storm Reads for sending a whole bunch of people my way. If you like the content, feel free to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. If you like my content even more, become a member. And if you like my content a lot, share my channel. I would love to have more people in our small community. So this week I felt like was a pretty good reading week for me. One of my intentional goals this year, if you're new this year, was to read books at a pace that was a little bit slower than last year and was purposeful. So I really wanted to focus on reading books that I wanted to read, that had some different themes to them. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Although this week I read 2 romances. So that's my normal theme. But my goal is just to read for the love of reading and not for the race. I still have a Goodreads goal and all of those things, but it's just at a slower pace. And you know what? I'm still doing okay. I think last month I read, 14 books. This week I've just finished 9 books, and so I feel it's good. So let's talk about what I read. So this week, my last weekly vlog left off on a Saturday, and I was kind of picking through books because I was really waiting for The Catch by Amy Lee. This book, I'll show you here on my Kindle. This book is the 3rd book in the Influencer series, and I was looking forward to reading this so much. I ended up giving this book 4 stars, and I just had some thoughts. So this book follows our main character, who is a fashion influencer, and she gets dropped in this small town because she was given an influencer trip to Canada. She gets there and she's there the wrong week, so they put her in a small Airbnb in a smaller section of the city that she's in. And the innkeeper's there. The girl is really nice. Her cousin, the guy, love interest, is really cranky and grumpy, and they're trying to renovate the Airbnb, so they're unsure why she's there. Anyway, they figured that part out, and obviously her and the main guy start getting closer, and he's got a big fishing thing that he's really into, and so she starts trying to go out on that, and they start spending more and more time together, and they end up going on a boating trip, and he falls off the boat trying to save her, gets a concussion, and has to go to the hospital. So she's really worried. She wants to go back with him, but obviously you have to be a spouse or kin to go into the room. And so she says that she's his fiance. And so the next morning, all of the relatives are there. They haven't seen each other in years. They've been in a really big argument over the Airbnb because half of them want to sell it, half want to keep it. And so this is the first time that the whole family is together, and they are being civil because they're excited that the main guy has a fiance. And he hasn't dated in a while, so they're all excited about that. So they keep up this fake fiance scenario. So we get into the fake dating, and as we know, most romances, fake dating leads to feelings, and they start falling for each other. Now, I end up giving this 4 stars versus 5 stars as I did the others because, in my opinion, it wasn't as good as X's and O's. We didn't get a ton of influence information, which I don't necessarily need that, but that is her job. She kind of fell head over heels for this guy, really out of nowhere. The guy was okay. I don't feel like he was a book boyfriend. He was just okay. And so the chemistry wasn't necessarily there for me. And it didn't hit the way I wanted it to. 4 stars is an amazing rating, so I'm not saying it wasn't good. What I'm saying is it wasn't as good as the others, but I think if you're already invested in the trilogy like I have been, you should read it because it's still very, very good. So 4 stars for The Catch by Amy Lee. Then after that, it was Tuesday, and I had so many books that I had downloaded in preparation for Tuesday drops. So I had pre-ordered quite a bit of books. Let me just see if I can tell you which books that I pre-ordered. Okay, I pre-ordered, obviously, The Catch, Ready or Not, Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy, Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey, which I know I said I wasn't going to read any more Tessa Bailey books, but I pre-ordered this because I hadn't, had a lot of good books in January, and so I wanted to just have a nice stockpile. I also was able to purchase Wellness by Nathan Hill. I've been wanting to read that for a while, and it was on a daily ebook deal. So if you follow, I want to say Daily Ebooks or Daily Ebook Deals on Instagram, she curates the daily deals on Kindle every day, so you can get books for $1.99 or $2.99, and I've really built up my collection that way. And I actually had that book Wellness from the library because I had that on hold for a while. It's just a contemporary fiction book, and when I brought it home, the font was crazy small, and so I was like, I can't read this. I have to wait to get it on Kindle. So I did put in my community tab yesterday a poll, so go check that out on fonts and books. I don't know if I'm getting old or they're purposely making the font small or what, or maybe I'm just used to the Kindle, but every book I've picked up recently, the font has been crazy small and I can't do it. So I'd gotten that book. And then I also picked up a book called Hypnotized by Love by Soraya Wilson. I'd never read her books before, but I was interested. So I had lots to choose from on Tuesday. So I have been hearing a lot about the book Ready or Not. And it's so funny because I pre-ordered the book Ready or Not, and then I saw it at Barnes and I was almost like, should I buy it? I really want to read this book. And then I found out, I remembered it was my Book of the Month Club book, which is so embarrassing. Why did I buy it twice? But I remember this book was the one that I had picked, but it was really popular. So it sold out and they had to get new shipments out. So I really just got this book on Tuesday, or was it Wednesday? I think it was a Wednesday. I got it. No, it was Friday because it was in the mailbox for a while. I got it on Friday, and I'd already been reading the book on the Kindle, so that was part of my book mail. But anyway, so I read Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, and I had read a couple of her audiobooks that were made just for Prime, and I thought they were really good. I like her writing style. And so in this book, we meet Eve, and I'm just looking at the names on the cover because you guys know I never remember the names, but for this, you need to kind of figure it out. Okay, so Eve and Ethan have a one-night stand. Ethan is what she thinks is a bartender, but he's actually the bar owner at a bar that she goes to one night, and they have a one-night stand. 4 weeks later, Eve is pregnant, and we go through the journey trimester by trimester of what she's going through, trying to figure out how she's going to navigate this. She has her really good friends Willa and Willa's brother. Oh my gosh, what is his name? Because he's amazing. I'll find it. Who are there to support her. Willa originally is not very supportive because she's been trying to get pregnant and she's married and she's having a really hard time getting pregnant. So the fact that her best friend is pregnant hits her kind of hard. It's giving Sex and the City vibes. But they get over that. Okay, her brother's name is Shep. Okay, and then there's Shep. And Shep is just the quirky brother. He's always just kind of been around. And as Ethan and Eve try to navigate things, right? She goes to tell him that she's pregnant. Shep comes with her. And come to find out, he has a girlfriend. Now, he did not have a girlfriend when they initially hooked up, but they were on a break, sort of like Ross and Rachel, and now they're back together, and so he's feeling very convoluted. His girlfriend is actually kind of terrible. She doesn't want him to have any contact with Eve or the baby, and so he's very aloof throughout the book. Now, originally reading this, I thought that Eve and Ethan were going to bond while trying to figure out how to become parents, and that was gonna be the love relationship, but it's not. It's actually between Eve and Shep. So Shep steps up and it's just there. And when I think about book boyfriends, I'm thinking about Shep, okay? Like, he's there, he's checking in with her, he's rubbing her feet, he's bringing her food, like, he's doing all the things that Ethan should be doing. And Eve is conflicted because obviously Shep is Willa's brother, but also, like, she has this lingering hope to have this family with Ethan because they have this baby together, and she's a little bit confused, hurt, sad that Ethan is not as engaged as Shep is. And so we go through all her pregnancy trying to navigate that. She's also trying to navigate changes at work. And so I think she works at like a publishing house or something with writing, and she's really on the outskirts of it. But her boss offers her a job pretty early on in her pregnancy about moving to a different department to sort of like get more responsibility and step up. And she is excited and conflicted. And so we're working through that too. So lots of changes for Eve, but I ended up giving this book 5 stars. I will say there were some parts that dragged just a little bit. But overall, it was a slow burn, which is not my favorite. But it was really a cute relationship between Shep and Eve, and I felt like it was believable. And I think the turn was around Ethan being a scumbag and not being the person we thought he would be just based on assumptions from reading the book. So 5 stars for Ready or Not by Kara Bastone. Then yesterday, I was like, I need to finish one more book for this video because I wanted to read more than 2 books this week. Although both of those books were in the 300 pages, so I felt good about that. But I ended up picking up Soraya Wilson's Hypnotized by Love. Now, this book, like, not my favorite. I think I ended up giving it 3 stars. And this was like a low 3 stars. It wasn't like, oh, 3 stars is a good rating. This was like a low 3 stars. And this book follows a woman who is a hypnotherapist, and she is battling scandal. A guy came in who was trying to get hypnotized, supposedly, but really he was trying to ask her out on a date. She declined his date, and then he put in a complaint with the board. Well, he began harassing her, and then he put in a complaint with the board saying that she harassed him. And so she's trying to battle this image issue. She does not need to be certified on a board to be a hypnotherapist, but she liked it because it was like extra credibility for her. And so she's trying to figure that out. So in walks in her old sort of flame / rival from high school. And his mom is a client of our main character, and he's writing a journal article about hypnotherapy and if it actually works and the process of hypnosis. And he's not a believer, but he signs up for 2 of her sessions, like back to back, and he gets hypnotized, and he really goes into a very deep hypnosis state or hypnotic state. And sorry, I'm looking down. I'm trying to show you on my Kindle, but like my Wi-Fi is not loading. So I'm just gonna manage that real quick. Okay, so they go into this hypnotic state. It's like a 2-hour session that they're in. And as she's trying to wrap up and she knows he's in a very deep state, the fire alarm goes off in the building that she's working in. And so he's kind of jolted awake, and he's not fully removed out of his hypnotic state. And part of what she was doing in the hypnosis was just making him more open and more of like ability to say yes to things. And so we go through the book of her basically trying to protect him from himself because he doesn't want to go back under hypnosis. He feels so happy and light, but also he's in this state where he's saying yes to everything, whether it be dangerous or not, and then feelings arise from there. The issue that I had with this book was that it was cheesy in the worst way. It really gave like 80s rom-com vibes, but not in a good way. It was just like we spent the entirety of the book watching him make silly mistakes and then her trying to protect him or like lead him a certain way. And I just felt like it wasn't really necessary. I didn't like that undertone of the book. Eventually they get together. It's a romance. But it just, I don't know. I just didn't like it. And I have not read anything from Soraya Wilson. I thought her writing style was really great. I just didn't like the plot of the story. So I believe I gave that, I think I said 3 stars, but I may have given it 2 stars, which I feel like 2 stars is kind of low in my opinion. So I might go back. I don't like to ruin anybody's like livelihood off of a rating, but we'll see. But yeah, so that was Hypnotized by Love, and I didn't really love that. So those are the 3 books that I read this week. But this week was also Valentine's Day, and so I want to show you what my hubby got for me. Valentine's Day is always an interesting day. My husband and I have been together for about 20 years this year. And so, you know, it's sometimes challenging to figure out what to get each other or how do we celebrate it. I think it's not a very important holiday. And so yeah, anyway, that's my whole little rant. But anyway, I sent him a while ago a book that I wanted because I have been collecting these. These are the books by Mina Lima, the Harry Potter books, and they have the very specific illustrations and pop-outs in there. So this is The Prisoner of Azkaban. They're going book by book. I have book 1 and 2. They're in storage right now. But basically, they are just beautifully designed and illustrated books. Obviously, you have like the specialty paper in there because it's so nice. But like, okay, here's the book of monsters for the class. The illustrations are beautiful. And so these are just like collector books for me. I don't use these to read or reread the stories. I usually reread them on Kindle, but they are quite nice. And so I appreciate him for getting me that for Valentine's Day. So that is what I got. But anyway, that is my weekend books. Like, that's kind of what I'm on right now. I'm right now reading the book Technically Yours. It is a tech sort of book, and it's kind of written like, what's my favorite book? It's kind of written like Love in Other Words. And so it is 2 people who used to date and they've broken up about 5 years ago, and now they're working together on a tech project. And I can already tell it's just so cute. So I'm looking forward to getting that done. I'm only about 30 pages in, so I will be talking about that in my weekly vlog. So that is it for today and for this week's wrap up. Comment down below if you like the weekly wrap up. I don't know how, like, sometimes the weekly vlog doesn't always work for my schedule, but I think if I'm reading a few books a week, I can share that at the end of the week too as an alternative. So comment down below what you think about that. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.